Hey guys, it is Tanya. Happy Monday. Happy start to your week. How's everybody's week going so far? It is the Lunchish Live Show. It's a little early today, but the girls went to sleep kinda early, a lot earlier than usual. And they've been doing that for the last few days. And Sala, she usually goes to sleep first. She usually tries to get her nap in maybe like 10:15, 10:30. So she's usually up around 12-ish, 12-ish now. So I laid the other baby down and they both fell asleep. So I said I need to jump on a little bit early. It's still kind of lunchish time, a little bit, just a little bit early. I'm taking an early lunch. So hopefully everybody's Monday is going well. It's absolutely beautiful outside. You know, even if you're inside, you know, you can get up for a couple minutes and enjoy the weather. It definitely helps. So welcome to the Lunchish Live Show. It's roughly 11:30, so it's roughly lunchish time. I do have two 15-month-old little girls, so I just never know for sure what time lunchish is going to be for me. So here I am, a little bit early, but I am here. So today I wanted to talk about forgiving someone that's not sorry, because you know sometimes we kind of hear that in order to release ourselves from whatever's going on, we have to forgive, you know, somebody else. And sometimes those people never apologize. And I know for me, for a long time, I felt like you can't forgive somebody that's not, how do you forgive somebody that's not sorry? But I definitely had to learn the hard way that it's important to forgive them, whether they're sorry or not, whether they say it or not, whether they feel it or not, you have to forgive them because it releases you from wherever you're stuck, and it gives you the opportunity to move on. So how do you forgive somebody that's not sorry? What does that even look like? The first thing you have to do is accept the fact that they may never, ever, ever apologize. They may never. Some people just don't like to apologize. They don't like to be wrong, and they don't like to admit that they're wrong, so they never apologize. They may kind of hope that enough time goes by and you kind of forget what happened, or it's just water under the bridge and you guys can kind of let it go. But they may never say, I apologize, or I'm sorry, or, you know, I didn't mean to hurt you. That may never happen. And you have to accept that. Depending on what happened, they could be waiting for you to apologize. I mean, you never know. But I think bigger than wanting an apology, you want a sincere apology. Even if somebody comes and they say, yeah, sorry, my bad. You don't want to hear that. That's not sincere. You want a sincere apology. You want to know that they are upset about what they did. Just like you're upset that they have some remorse for what they did. So you don't want, you know, somebody to come in and just say, hey, yeah, my bad. You know, let's move on. No. And so you may not get the apology. Even if you get a my bad, you aren't getting the apology that was going to reconcile this difference. That may never happen. And you have to come to terms with that and accept it. And that's kind of the first step in forgiving them. The next thing you want to do is find a way to empathize with them. Kind of find the humanity in them maybe. But depending on what happened, there may be a reason why they did what they did. And there may be a reason why they just won't apologize. And it may have nothing to do with you. It could be something that they're hurting from in the past, or something that they're worried about. This could have nothing to do with you. Although the incident has to do with the two of you, what they did and why they did it may have nothing to do with you. And if you can kind of look at that and see it from their point of view, then you can find a little compassion into where they are, like what space they're in. And it gives you a better understanding of maybe why they, even if it was still wrong, it gives you a better understanding of why they did it. And it helps you to move towards forgiving them. Like, you know what? That really didn't have anything to do with me. It was bad, but they're in a bad place. They're in a sunken place. They're in a painful place. And you can show them compassion. The next thing you want to do is try to take a look at the role that you may have played. So some personal responsibility. Think about the situation. Did you do something maybe that hurt them first? And maybe that's why they did something hurtful to you. So they're waiting for you to apologize, and you're waiting for them to apologize. Even if you don't think you did something wrong, just kind of think about, did you maybe say something that was taken out of context? Did you do something that maybe they, felt was careless, or they felt like you betrayed them? Is there something, even if it wasn't intentional or you didn't do anything malicious, kind of think about that. Maybe you didn't do anything wrong at all. But is there something that you could have done differently to avoid the confrontation itself? Could you have expressed yourself differently? Could you have been more open? And maybe they would have understood why what they did to you was so hurtful. So think about some things that maybe you did or could have done differently. And maybe if you do that, when you go and you have the talk with the person that just won't apologize and they won't say they're sorry, maybe you can find some common ground in what happened. You can find that common ground that maybe will help that person say, you know what, you're right, I am sorry. That was wrong of me. That was terrible. You can still reconcile. Even if you still don't get your apology, which could happen, because the first step is accepting that an apology may not come. Acknowledge and accept how you're actually feeling. So when somebody does something wrong to us, and they don't apologize for it, initially we're really just like, oh, we're angry. How dare you? How could you? The audacity. But sometimes we don't acknowledge that we're actually hurt. Maybe we're sad. Maybe we feel betrayed. Because those feelings feel way more vulnerable than anger. Saying that you feel betrayed implies that you trusted this person. You love them, you cared for them, you trusted them, you opened yourself up to them, and they took advantage of that. And sometimes that makes us feel like we're weak, or, we made ourselves vulnerable and we were gullible. We were naive. So we don't want to admit that we were betrayed, that we're sad, that we're hurt. We don't want to admit that, but you have to. You have to acknowledge that. Because if you don't, you're going to live in this place of anger, and that anger is going to eat away at you. You can't forgive them regardless of whether you get an apology. You can't reconcile a relationship. And even bigger than that, you can't release yourself. You can't release yourself from the pain because you won't even acknowledge it. So you have to do that. That's important. And the final step in forgiving someone that's not even sorry is to establish that new relationship. So if you go through all of those steps, let's say that you go through the steps and you are actually able to talk to that person and you talk it through, and maybe the person never ever says the words, I'm sorry, but you're able to find a common ground. Like you're able to find a place where you two can come together and understand, I did this because, and you did this because, and it might even strengthen a relationship. You might realize that there was some huge misunderstanding and you just weren't seeing eye to eye. And you say, you know what, we'll never do this again. And that could establish a new relationship that's even stronger than the one you had before. It's possible that this person might just be a little selfish. That could happen. And sometimes, it's a relationship that isn't going anywhere. Like this could be a really close relative and that relationship isn't going anywhere. So maybe you just need to set new boundaries. Maybe you still have the relationship. You still love them. You still care about them. They may have never apologized. You've accepted that they're not going to apologize. You've empathized with where they are and why they feel the way they do and what they, you understand what they did. But you just set boundaries for yourself so that you never feel that type of hurt or betrayal or pain anymore, because we got to take care of ourselves first. So we can't let anybody take us for granted or make us feel, those type of debilitating emotions that will, keep us from growing and thriving. Or maybe you just got to walk away. And there is nothing wrong with walking away from something toxic. You know, if you are in some type of relationship, you know, whether it's a platonic relationship or whether it's more of an intimate relationship, if you're in a relationship and that person is toxic, they're malicious, they do hurtful things, they won't apologize, they won't admit that they're wrong, they flip it on you, make it seem like you did something wrong, you cannot reconcile, it's okay to get rid of that relationship. It's toxic. It's not gonna help you. It's not gonna help you grow, and it's not gonna help you reach any of your goals. It's gonna be more stifling than anything else. If you're constantly fighting with this other person, it doesn't help. It doesn't make you disloyal. It doesn't make you fake. It doesn't make you any of those things. You see something, it's toxic, and you're gonna get rid of it. That's very, very important, because at this point, that person is not going to apologize. Maybe they're evil, maybe they're malicious, whatever it is. But you can accept they're not going to apologize, empathize that they may just not be the person for you right now. You can forgive them for, you know, what they did, whether they're sorry or not. And you get to move on. You get to find people that are going to take you into consideration, that won't take you for granted, that are going to love you and support you. And you can't do that if you're still angry and bitter and holding on to this person that will not apologize and really doesn't care how you feel about it, honestly. But that is huge. You have to be able to forgive people whether they're sorry or not. It's just, unfortunately, it's the way of the world. There are people who are going to do things to you and they're not going to be sorry. It has nothing to do with whether they want to apologize or they don't apologize to anybody and they don't want to. Maybe they think you deserved it, whatever it is. And you have to be willing to not just forgive them, because forgiving releases the anger, but even walk away from them if you need to, if you absolutely need to. So I just want to wrap this up by saying that it releases you to forgive them. It's not even about being the better person or the bigger person. It's about being a better you. You are going to be better when you let go of that anger, when you let go of that person, when you can move on from that. It releases you. It allows you to be better and do better, reach your goals, focus on stuff that's more important than this person that maliciously did something and does not care. So thank you so much for spending some time with me at roughly lunchish. I think I hear one of the babies right now. So like I said, they've been napping a little bit earlier and they've been getting up a little bit earlier. But if you guys, get a minute, check out my website, journeywithtvporter.com. I will post a link in the comments. And on there, you can download my free offer, which is a powerful story to help you move beyond feeling stuck, which is actually my story. So it's my story along with some tips, some things that I've used to kind of get through the last year. The last year has been a little taxing. It's been a little challenging. So if there's anything you think that I might be able to help you with or you'd like to connect, you can shoot me an email. My email is latanya@journeywithtvporter.com. Thanks so much, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.